I hope you are watching this. You need to get on here because this is a circumstantial uh, evidencery of complete craziness here for Mountaineer Legends pregame. We had a Wi-Fi outage, and our legends are right now, as you can see. I'm going to go from the top. We got Timmy Brown, who graduated 1994, but 93 was his last season. Or Timmy was a linebacker. If you don't remember him against the Miami Hurricanes, when the Mountaineers would beat the Hurricanes. Now we'll be talking to Timmy. And Timmy, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, Wolf. I'm doing good, Wolf.
Oh, good, man. Well, good to have you. Glad to have you. We are late. And because of the Wi-Fi outage, we have down here. If you can see here, uh, going from the right to the left, we got Darryl Talley. King Darryl Talley is there. DC, how you doing today?
Doing well, doing well. We're in the car. We like sardines. All we need is a little oil.
I see that there's somebody that's a little heavy right next to you. You got big, bad Brian Joswiak, right tackle. Joes, how you doing there, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing good. You said circumstantial. It's more like circus stantial. Okay? So welcome. Welcome, Mountaineer Nation.
That's good. That's good. We're going to move on.
Hey, all we need to get a win and we'll be all right.
Hey, listen, I want to say this, though, is that you said that's a big car. It looks like a really little car right now. It looks like a big man in a little car. Big man. Big man in a little car. All right, let's move on back. All right, behind Big Joe's there is, of course, our quarterback, Darren Studstill. Hey, you graduated 1993. You're a part of the 1993 team there with Timmy, 11-0. You did lose there to the Florida Gators there. In the Sugar Bowl, but good to have you, buddy. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. I'm good. Well, good to see everybody. Good to be around.
It's wonderful to see your face, man. I'm telling you right now. Now, listen, I want you to tell me what you just said in the car before we went live about when you graduated.
Oh, I said I stopped going to classes in 92, but I graduated in 93, carried over.
What?
Who said that?
I just hung out at the mountain level.
Wait a minute.
The whole year.
Was Coach Ford still there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And he let you get away with it?
Hey, Stud.
Oh, my God.
Hey, Stud.
And of course, hey, last but not least here, we have Q Dog, Quincy Wilson. Q, how you doing today, buddy?
Oh, man. What's up, baby?
Hey, you think you're doing better today than Merriweather is? Hey, you think you're doing better than Merriweather is right now?
I don't know.
I'll tell you what, man, because you know what I'm talking about, the big famous run there. What is it, the 20-year history or 20 years for it?
Oh, it's coming up.
It's coming up, the big hit.
We're getting close, yes.
All right, guys. Well, good. It is good to have you because we are just cruising on down for this Mountaineer Legends pregame show. And I'm going to start out here with Big Joe's because this is the WolfMan and Big Joe's Mountaineer Legends pregame in a small vehicle. Okay, so we're going to go out. Joe's, let's talk about what you saw last week. We're going to try to get through this now. We're going to try. Let's talk about what you saw with TCU last week in the game, and give me your best.
You want it in a nutshell?
Please.
Well, I mean, I thought we competed at times. But, we let some big plays go off in the first half. And then we came out in the second half and we played with a field goal and they got a couple of field goals. But then, games like that where turnovers, we were even across the board with turnovers. So those kinds of games are going to come down to really, really big plays. And, that last reception, that end of the game kind of, for me, because, they found a weakness right there and they went after that redshirt freshman. And there was a huge size difference and they put it up there and they let that guy go after the I would have liked to have seen us maybe gotten a little bit more physical in that game. We let some big plays go off because we weren't swarming and tackling. That's just my opinion. But we gotta learn to finish the game. That's huge. Overcome the little things like that and finish. And we didn't.
The thing that, if you don't mind me, and a lot of teams have to learn how to finish because they don't know the game. You got to have somebody that make a play. You got to have a willing to, and we're not got to do that. A guy that's going to be willing to go in to the Lions' den and sit down at the Lions' table and say, we're here to take your food. And we want it all. Now. So give it up. We just got to find out.
Still looking right now. All right. Hey, Stud, man. You played in the Sugar Bowl there, and you spent a lot of years at quarterback. And what are you seeing when you're seeing JT Daniels? What do you see him as a quarterback?
I think he's real seasoned. You can see that he played a lot of football. I was real impressed how he overcame some adversities in the game. He made some bad reads, I thought, but I like the way he kept his composure. And like DT said, it's just gonna come down to somebody on that team stepping up and say, "Hey, these guys are in our house, and we letting the guys off the hook too much." I don't care what their rank and stuff like that, but it has to come. We always look for guys like Timmy and those guys, to be that senior leadership to say, "Hey, this game's too close. You're not leaving out of here." Whether you're a redshirt freshman or a senior, when you come into Mountaineer Stadium, it's a price to pay. So we're just waiting to see that.
Very good point. Q-Dog, let me ask you this, man. A lot of injuries in the running back field this year. C.J. Donaldson is out. You don't know who's going to really be playing today. Is Justin Johnson going to be healthy? This is a chance for Jalen to go ahead and get a chance to jump out there and make an impact. What do you tell a young guy who's got a shot to go make it happen due to injuries? This is your opportunity. You got to be ready. Coaches tell you that all the time.
Right. I think it comes the week of. You start Sunday. You start showing them. You start building that confidence. Say, hey, we like you against the linebackers. We like you. You want to make sure protection is good because. That's the one thing. I think they do a lot of slide protections there, but I know you got. You have to make sure you're building confidence all during the week. So then when Saturday comes, you're just like you say, you send them off and say, "Hey, I ain't gonna mess with you today. I want to see you play. You're gonna make mistakes. Let's just try to make sure we take care of the football, which is holding the football, and just play. That's why you're here. I think a lot of times that we make it too big. It's just you're here for a reason. We recruited you. I've watched your huddle highlights. I know you can run. I know you can let's just go out there and play football.
Yeah, excellent point. And it's your opportunity to make it. I mean, I know we all had probably a story about when you had that opportunity to jump in there and shine, and you never knew what was coming. And Timmy, let me ask you this: as you saw last week, you felt like Neil Brown on Tuesday at his press conference was a lot happier than after the game on Saturday. Obviously, he got a chance to regroup, watch the film, see how the team played. But let me ask you this: and the defense did have an opportunity to keep him in the game in the second half, but the first half was pretty lousy with 28 points being scored. When is 41 points? You're a linebacker. When is 41 points a rally point to say, hey, you know what? They kept us in the second half, but overall, you let them have 41 points.
Yeah, I mean, as a linebacker, in a football game, my whole crew when I was West Richardson, Derek Wiley, we had a crew, our front lines, Scott Gasson. We made a point that we was not giving up. This football they're playing now with the 3-3-5 defense, and then Studstill. It's like an offensive game now. I mean, so back then when we was playing, it's like, we load the small football, we're gonna get after it. But like I said, right now it's just like a 7-on college football right now. Everybody spreads out and they go get it. Like I said, it's a different 41 points right now. It seems like it's not really not enough points. But when I was playing, it's you be anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Well, DT, let me go right to you then, because when you sit there and you think of 41 points being scored, but you're kind of looking at yourself saying, hey, this is something to rally on, because in the second half they only did allow, I think, 10 points in the second half, but overall it's 41. Is what I'm trying to get at. How do you when did that become a standard?
It don't. It be a stain on me because I gave up 41 points. That is not what it's about. For me, it's about going out there, knocking him in the mouth, and making him like it. And then at the end of the day, walk away with a better score than them. I don't want to give up 21 points. I don't want to give up 14, but I will. My thing is this: I'll give some to get some. And that's like the old adage, you got to bring some butt to get some butt. They got to bring it. And you got to bring it each and every down. And my thing is this: once the kids get there and they get the understanding that we can battle back from this, we can overcome this, all we have to do is stick together. Dude, I'm going to tell you one thing I heard. One thing I heard that Russell Wilson said: let's ride. That right there. Let's ride. Get in the car, boss. I got the wheel. Let's ride. We go into this fight. When we get there, I'm out. I'm popping the trunk. Get your bats, your jacks, and everything. Let's go get to work. Let's get busy. As my old man said, let's be like them little bitty men. Just down there, just beating on somebody in their gut. Just beat on them. But that's the way I play the game. That's the way I think the game should be played. You got to be physical. You got to impose your will. I don't think we're trying to impose our will on anybody. We're busy running around trying to be nice and just make tackles. Impose your will. If I had one thing to tell the defense, my thing would be, no matter what, put your hands on the offensive guy. Every snap, put your hands on one of them. And you impose your will. You impose your will on them, they will wilt. Because guess what? Not everybody's built the same. Not everybody's built like I. That being said.
No. Yeah. Well, you know what? That is an excellent point. And that's what I was really trying to get at, because I just don't understand. I look at Iowa State, and we're not going to get to Iowa State yet, but I look at them, and they're only giving up 16.6. So really 17 points per game. So it's still doable. It's still there in the Big 12. And they've lost 5 games by a total of 28 points. It's really, they are a team that's just trying to find a way to win. Right now, they always seem to find a way to lose, but it's all close. So there are different subjects right now, but I want to continue on this, the TCU. And Q, I'm going to go to you and say Neil Brown came out. First thing he talks about is special teams. And my contention has always been this, that if you have good special teams, that's the second teamers and maybe possibly the third teamers. And the latest philosophy has been to use a lot of first teamers. But what I'm saying with this, right, I know what you're saying, Dave, but that's what I'm seeing. But these guys aren't giving up. They played well last week. And so when your special teams are playing well, it means that they are still playing hard, which means they're still fighting for themselves, for each other, and for their coaches. What did you see last week when you see that about special teams?
Well, I think you said special teams is, those hidden yardage. I think, TCU hit big plays, and we're used to having playmakers, that we don't, have the Tavon Austin's who, 80 yards or it's 7-0 already. It seems like we have to grind and we have to stop them on an 8-play, 10-play drive. So, that special teams, if I'm Neil Brown, I'm putting my best 11 on special teams. I don't care if it's CJ Donaldson, because, I'm fighting for my job. I'm not going to let some second teamer from Moorfield, dictate, nothing against Moorfield. But, I want my best 11 guys on that punt block team. I want my best guys on kickoff returns. So because that's where the hidden yardage and that's where we they can steal a game or two with those guys. And like I tell them at 18, 19, I played all 4 special teams. So the kids that tell me I'm tired, bull, get your ass out there and cover a kick and then go play defense. Get out there and return a kick and get back on, So, but it's a mindset. They have to have the mindset to do that.
True. I agree with you. My thing would be like this. I went to Neyland and asked him, because after getting beat by Penn State one year with Kurt Warner returning a kick, I went to Coach Neyland and told him, I said, Coach, put me on the kickoff team. I want to be one of the guys in the middle. I am not going to get beat on special teams. And if the starters take the opinion or the attitude that I'm not going to get beat on special teams, then guess what? Now all of a sudden that second or third teamer is going, wait a minute now, I got to uphold his standard of playing on defense or on offense. Now I got to uphold that on special teams, because all it is about holding somebody accountable. And my thing was, if I hold somebody accountable, then I was going to do it. Because if I can show you better than I can tell you, if you watch what I do and do what I do, we might be better off instead of just listening to me.
No, you're right, DT. And
Hey,
you know what? What's that, Timmy?
I said we pride ourselves on 93 team is as on special team. The team we pretty much set up our starting defense is going out there, and we who's gonna have the hardest hit on a punt return team and stuff like that. So we pride ourselves. I mean, it's all 3 phases of the game: special team, offense, and defense. And our special team was our main bread getter. Yeah, Mike Baker running back punts. And we pretty much set the wall.
Well, I'm going to guarantee you Barry Hawkins wasn't running down on kickoff.
No, definitely.
But I will say this. Hey, Stud, I want to get you in this now. When we're looking at this game here with JT Daniels, and we talk about JT and his completion percentage, and, honestly, probably the last couple of weeks, I don't think he's played as well as he did in the first 4 or 5 games. And what are you looking at when you see him? When you see him making calls, how much has the game changed since when you played, number one? And how do you see him in the last couple of weeks? Do you see him being strong? What are you seeing?
Well, first off, let me say this. He is a top 10 quarterback that's out there right now. What I think, JT, I think he's over processing sometimes, because he is super talented. I think sometimes that he's trying to force, because all those other factors, he has to press because he's behind on points and all those things. But I think he's a super talented. I think he got to let the game come to him, and just he has all the tools. Wolf, I mean, I do think he's a NFL ready quarterback. I just think he's been in so many systems. He just got to slow down and let the game come to him and just play football. I think he's overthinking things. Some throws that you see him make a wonderful throws for a couple of them, and then he comes back in those little throws, and that's the great part. I mean, but I think he's there, but I think it has to be a total team around him to rally around him for his true skills to show all 4 quarters.
Well, let's keep on this one subject real quick, because I want to hear from you. Where is this game right now in the quarterback situation from where you have been with it? How have you grown? What's your
right now? The game is 7-on-7 right now. All it's 7-on-7. It's like that period when we used to look at the clock and we used to enjoy. It's like the whole game is 7-on-7.
Wait on to flip the numbers.
Yeah, to flip the numbers.
Flip the numbers so we can go to the next period.
It's a different game. It's hard for me to compare that, because a lot of times when back in our day we had great backs. Our offense was built on our backs. In reference to you had Adrian Morrell and
running game.
Yeah, we had a running game.
Game.
A lot of times we'll hand it off, and we had a chance to look and set up, and we'll look out at the coverage and be like, okay, I'm gonna come back to this. But now you don't get the opportunity these days. Everything is so fast paced and whatever. I think the processing of the quarterbacks is a little different. The game is totally different now. It's like PlayStation. Well, It's Tecmo Bowl back in your day.
Yeah, you got it. I
That was
Tecmo Bowl.
back in your day, but now it's.
Hey, guess what? I had one of them games. I
Yeah,
had the game.
you know what? I think I used to play with the Bills. All right, so that's all good, man. But Joe's 7-on-7. Where's this game at right now as an offensive lineman? And you're hearing that this is a 7-on-7 game now.
That's I'm an offensive lineman, so it frustrates me a little bit because we get left out of the picture. The issue then becomes the mesh between the line and that skill group. That's where you win it and lose it, because if you don't have great line play and you're not controlling the box, then guess what? All that other stuff doesn't work. It doesn't sync up. It's not real. The game has changed a little bit in the fact that it's no longer 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and I'm not cutting guys on the backside, and that part of it has changed a little bit, but it's still physical in the box. I mean, we're still and jam each other around, and whoever controls that line of scrimmage, that's where the game's won and lost. I mean, if you're not doing what you need to do in the box, you got a problem. I mean, that's pretty simple. That's just my opinion. Has the game really changed? I don't know. I think there's a lot more noise that goes on. There's a lot of instantaneous feedback. That brain's got to process a ton of information really fast. All right. But at the end of the day, like Darryl said, it's me against you. I know my job, and I'm going to attack my job to the best of my ability. And if I don't, then somebody on the sideline or somebody in that huddle is going to grab my ass and say, hey, pick it up. Pick it up. We're not going to accept mediocrity. You're not going to get away with it. So the accountability comes from within, but it also comes from the guys next to you demanding excellence, demanding, hey, and we're going to get beat. We all get beat. There's no perfection. But I'm not gonna let myself get out physical. I might get beat because of whatever, but man, I'm coming back the next play swinging.
Don't let anybody out hustle you.
Yeah.
You can win hustle plays.
You can win.
There's no excuse for not winning hustle plays. Effort plays.
Gang tackling.
Getting there, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And trust me, and it takes each and every guy to hold the next guy accountable. Yeah. If I can't hold that defensive lineman accountable for keeping that guard off me, then guess what? Me and him going to have a conversation about where you're at. Why are you letting that man off on me? Hey, don't be doing that. You make the tackle for a loss. Don't do that. If they're not getting it done, then guess what? I'm going to have something to say.
Okay. So, Timmy, let me get back to you now with that, because you play backer as well. And the best known picture of you is laying that Miami Hurricane wide receiver out, which I can't remember his name now, but it's an iconic picture. And you were all about physicality. So this defense, do you see them picking up receivers? Do you see them being physical, redirecting? Because Aaron Beasley's saying that's the one thing that he does not see, is that they're picking up receivers and physicality. No redirecting. They're just catching them. And it's hard to catch fast dudes when they're running at you on an 8 to 10 yard head start.
Right. The flowing to the ball, the game tackling. I don't see that. Like when we played, we all got to the ball. We all 11 had to be in the pitch when the runner was on the ground. You know what I mean? And that's what we pride ourselves at. You know what I mean? So we're all there. You know what I mean? You're not in the picture. You're gonna be talked about it. So that like them guys not flying around, like they're not hungry. Like when we play, man, we got excited. You know what I mean? We made big hits. We got excited when we made big hits. You know what I mean? I don't see, and I don't even see the coaches engaging and getting excited with them players when the players making the big plays. You know what I mean? It's just different time, different time in the era, and I don't know where we went wrong at. And what if the game's changed? I don't know if a lot of these players is afraid to make good hits or big hits because they're going to be kicked out of the game because of targeting. So the game changed right there too. Like that hit I hit on Miami in the game, I've probably been suspended for 3-4 games. You know what I mean? Because the game is changed. You can't really play. We play the game.
Well, see, you guys played in an era when you guys launched yourselves. See, when I was taught to tackle with my shoulder. I was not taught to tackle with my head. See, and that's what a lot of guys do. A lot of guys tackle with their head. I'd headbutt you, but I'm going to tackle you with my shoulders because I got more force with my shoulder.
Right.
Because I'm going to continue running through you. I didn't want to just tackle you in spots. I wanted to tackle you through the turf. I came with bad intentions. There's nothing nice about me when I'm playing. I'm coming to get you.
Trust me, DT. I feel the same way.
And that's how I had to have everybody on that squad playing with me. And if you didn't want to do that, now we got a problem when we get to the sideline. Because guess what? I'm not going to be the only monkey out here swinging at everybody like this. You better come with me. That's why I got you on the team. That's why you here. That's why they brought you in. That's why you got a scholarship. And you didn't have to tell Dennis that. Because Dennis was looking at me going, hey, you think maybe we're going to hit him sometime today? Because, I mean, he coming down here kind of quick. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Ain't nobody hit you. Well, no, he just getting off the ball a little late. Okay, so now I'm getting crap from the inside linebacker about a tight end getting down there where he's at. So, it's just like holding each other accountable for what your job is. And my other thing is, I have to agree with you. They're not putting hands on people. We don't put hands on anybody in the trenches. We're sitting there. It's basically like we're doing a waltz. We're taking girls to the prom and to the waltz, and we letting them lead.
We ain't jacking nobody.
We letting them lead. Did you ever let a girl lead you when you danced?
I
know at least in my neighborhood. In my neighborhood, men had to lead when you danced. So the way I grew up in Ohio and I came to West Virginia, we led. So guess what? Get up and lead. Get up and lead, defense. Lead by example. Lead by what you do. Let what you say speak so loud that you don't have to open your mouth. Let your actions speak so loud that you don't have to open your mouth. That's when you're going to be good.
Yeah. All right. So let me take this to flip it over to the offense, Q-Dog. And when he's talking about all this physicality on defense, and we know, DT, you get your number retired because that's who you were. What is today's player like that? It does not seem like they don't seem like, even if they just drop a big game or they get embarrassed, they don't seem embarrassed anymore. Like, I would take it personally if I lost by 38 points.
Wolfman, it starts, these kids all play 7-on-7. They're on travel leagues. Everyone's friends. That's my boy. That's my dog. And no one goes at anybody. And I don't know if we're taught that way, but it's just, you go to a camp and, oh my God, Josiak was there. That's my guy. And blah, blah, blah. And it's all huggy. When I went to camp, I was sizing people up, and I was looking them up and down and measuring, I had something to prove. And I think the physicality part, like you guys have all said, and we know where that starts. That's winter. It's winter condition. That's summer. That's when you're building that. That's when you're running next to a guy and you just look at him and say, well, shit, we all know who can and who can't, so and I love, I know all the strength coaches and all those guys there, but mentality starts there, and then the football part, like you said, like DT said, that's just crazy 11 people out there just going crazy, but that foundation starts January 8th or 9th, or when you get back from, everyone's coming back from Christmas or whatever bad, and hey, how was your break? Oh, it was all right, I did this, but that 8 weeks, you're about to go through hell, and I don't know if they go through hell like we used to go through hell.
I don't know if they tax them. I don't think that they tax kids as hard, because I remember went back in, don't drink, you hydrate, and don't do this, don't do that. Well, guess what? At the end of the day, it made you a little tougher. It pissed you off that somebody told you couldn't have a drink of water.
Hey, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me go grab a nap before practice. And guess what? Tomorrow,
I'm going to punch you in the mouth.
I'm going to have a mental health day.
I'm gonna punch you in the
And
mouth.
I need a mental health.
I'm gonna punch you in the mouth tonight.
Right? That's the difference.
I'm gonna punch you in the mouth.
That's the difference.
When we get done with practice, when we get done with this show, me and you gonna go inside and we're gonna go at it. Because guess what? No.
That's exactly right.
No.
Thank you.
But hell no.
Thank you. With an explanation point.
Yeah. You
All right.
Look,
Hey, Joe, I'm trying to get over here to the stud now. All right,
I'm
let's
sorry.
wait a minute. Stud just said something great, really important. He
Go
said
ahead.
they can go out. Go ahead, repeat it,
No,
man.
I was saying back in our day, the competition was, we had that urge like DT and the guys are saying, if you miss a day, the guys were stepping over you to come and get your spot. These days, guys are okay to go and talk to someone. We didn't have time for that. We competed. Timmy can tell you, we competed every day. It didn't matter. The game was fun. It was that personal competition that we had within that locker room to get each other better that I think is not what they have today, because everything is, everybody's worried about, hydration and feelings these days. Hey, let me just say this. I know I'm not tough as these guys here, but I did run the option back in the day. So even when we didn't have the ball, people was coming under our chins and stuff like that. So even quarterbacks was a little tougher back in the day. Hostel is one of my heroes, and he will run you over. So, I'm just saying things were built a little different.
No, I have to say this. You did take a hit with Florida.
Yeah, that's my greatest play of all time. Hey, here's the thing. I work in a middle school now, and all the kids, when they get mad at me, they always pull up that hit. But I tell the kids, I say, even on that hit, what happened? You didn't see me go out of the game, or I got right back up, because that's what we do. Shit, I get hit by Timmy. Even they even have the ball, he would knock the shit out of us, and we'll get back up. These days, nothing. I don't want nobody to get hurt. But look at the quarterbacks today. If you even touch them these days, what happens?
Down.
They're out the game. They definitely couldn't play at West Virginia.
No, it's down. Okay, so let me set this up, because we have Timmy, we got Q, and we got you, Stud. First time on the Mountaineer Legends pregame show, sponsored by Parmar Stores. We thank them, our good friends at Parmar. But let's go talk about this. So you're saying the competition's not there, because maybe you don't have to stay there. Maybe if you don't succeed here, you can go there. Maybe you could go ahead and jump, if you see where I'm going with this, into the transfer portal and go to where you think is best. But nobody's anchoring in, it seems, when they have to. Because I know when I was a freshman, man, Mike Jacobs, our offensive coordinator and my personal coach as a center guard, I wanted to get the heck out of Morgantown, man. That was one tough son of a gun. And he made life miserable on freshmen because he had to make sure you met the standard of what it took to be a Mountaineer, and took to go 11-0 and to be successful, as all of you guys have been. So is there an issue now? I want to hear this from you guys. What's your point of view on the transfer portal?
The rich get richer, because if you're a big school, you have guys that have been in the system that know how to work the portal. And here's the thing. They don't have to wait on a freshman to come in to go in and fill a spot. I was just looking at somebody the other day. They've got 18 guys on their squad that came portal.
USC.
That was USC.
Yeah, 65 new guys.
USC did it, and LSU. LSU is who I was thinking. Got guys out of the portal. Now here's the thing.
Yeah, but they weren't all freshmen. They were like
They
probably
were older
and seniors.
Yeah, they were upperclassmen, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're able to build their team out through the portal. They don't have to go get a freshman to let a freshman start and learn the game. They can go get somebody who's already been in the game, that's already got accustomed to going to class, that knows that knows the system. All you're doing is just upgrading the guy. You don't have to teach this guy anymore. So there's less coaching for the coaches. So there's less work to be done with them. But with you going out and bringing a freshman in, now you got to bring that kid in and nurturing. You got to teach that kid what you want, what you're expecting, how to behave, how not to. And yeah, they say that everybody knows how to behave, but you really don't, because it's the first time you're away from home. It's the first time you're away from your mom and daddy. And it's the first time you've ever really, truly been on your own. So at that point,
Excellent point.
There's a lot of problems there.
What about you, Timmy? What do you see with this? I'm interested because you're kind of that in-betweener. You're an in-betweener, and it was just starting to get to that point, and it was starting to go more about the individual players than the team. How do you feel about the transfer portal?
Looking at it like this, it's bad for the high school players. You know what I mean? It's the worst for high school players. So when I could transfer portal was pretty much a junior college, which I came from. I came from a junior college. You know, the players at. You know, I came from a junior college, Valley Community College, and it came to I came from a junior college. You know what I mean? And I played my junior senior year down there. So the portal is bad for the high school kids coming out, fresh out of high school. It's like they need to get more experience before they even go to a major university.
So it's almost like so that's almost like
I agree. No,
that's pretty much
I agree. Yeah. And what about you there, Q? What do you think?
You know what? The portal it's a kamikaze, or however you want to of where we're at in society. You know, we feel bad if a kid wants to go somewhere and doesn't put the rule back. You want to leave, you got to sit out of here.
Right.
And it's going to end the transfer portal right there. You know, now these kids, you know, when I go to Ohio State, I know it doesn't work out and I can go transfer to Notre Dame in the spring. You know, there's no penalty.
There's no consequences.
There's no consequence. So
for what you've done.
You know, and like you said, and if you're at Alabama or you're at these bigger, you know, these top 12 schools, you know, you have access to every kid in this country. So say a kid at Colgate, you know, or is the all freshman American, you can go, well, hey, why would you want to play at Colgate when you can play at Bama? You know what I mean? So now, you know, the portal, it's really making coaches lazier, and it's making these players have no consequences. So now they commit to a school, you know, and we always did well in South Florida, but it's because them South Florida kids came up and we brought them into our system. Hey, this is Morgantown. This is this. Now they say, well, hey, I'm going to go there because I know I can transfer back to Central Florida or South Florida. You know what I mean? So, you know, the recruiting's different, I think, you know, but I think you put the rule back in, the transfer portal goes away. You know, you want to leave, you got to sit out of here.
Instead, what do you see? Now, you said you work with kids and you're down there in the hotbed right there in Miami and Southeast Florida with athletes, football players coming out. What are you seeing from the kids now as they're seeing that this transfer portal is there in the NIL, all these things? How are they being taught now and growing up? Hang on, Stud. You're breaking up,
Quincy
buddy.
just said, but I think my youngest son, goes to Jackson State now, and I think he said, you know, down here in South Florida, son, and he's not playing. First off, you know, it starts with the household. He knows if he started there, he can't leave that school without a degree. You know, that's just a household. But Deion said this, and he was talking about Florida kids. He said, down here in Florida, our kids are too soft, you know, in reference to at home now, if they don't like a situation, they leave. So that's why you see Miami and Florida State, we're not even in, I'm going to say we're in South Florida, not in the top 10, because these kids in high school, they already know if they don't get their way, they can go somewhere. So they don't stick anything out. So they're going and they're not sticking anything out. And we do have some of the best football in the country. But at the same time, our mindset is like, if I don't like Coach so-and-so, he just promised me this, they're out. And Deion said that we're just soft now here in South Florida, when at one time we used to think that we were dogs, but now we're not. So I think, you know, I agree with him on that, because I go out to some practice here and I see kids putting their helmets, they go for water, they put their helmets down. And I was like, what's going on? Because the coach allowed, because he did it somewhere else. So that was just me. I'm not the best person to speak on that.
It's too easy.
Because I just went crazy.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah.
Too easy.
Like, wait a minute, you put your helmet down to go get a drink of water?
Yeah. I was just like, what's going on?
Wait a minute. You put your helmet down.
Yeah, I was at my high school. I went to my high school.
Guess what?
Yeah.
We'd have took your helmet and it'd have been missing.
Yeah. running.
And you'd have been running because of it.
All right.
My question is this: ain't let nobody touch my helmet. You know why? That's got to protect my head. I don't want you in there.
Yeah, but the mentality was just different. So I'm not the best.
I am.
No, you know what? I appreciate it. Well, I'll tell you what, you're not afraid to either. I'll tell you that much.
No.
That's for
Hey,
sure.
I'll share a thought. Hey, Wolf.
Well, I'm ready for it. I'm good to you. Yeah.
Just two things about the portal. The monster is what it is. You're not going to shove the genie back in. So you got to use the portal to your advantage as best you can, which means if first of all, I got to create an environment that guys don't want to transfer out of. And if they do transfer out, they transfer out because they're not good enough to play at that level. So they go somewhere else. You don't lose your talent. You're building your talent. You need those guys to stay in your program. That's most important. So you gotta create that environment. Number two, you gotta find guys. If I do lose somebody, I can't settle for second best. I gotta go out there and find somebody that's gonna come in there and help win football games, and that means finding guys that are playing and can at that high level. I can't replace a guy who I can't replace a 4.35 with a 5.1. All right. So you got to go find a guy that's going to fit to make sure we don't take steps back.
Well, that's basically what your coaches should be doing with the team as they build it. Because basically what you're trying to do is you're creating a culture.
Exactly.
And when you create that culture and doing that, then what you need to recruit is you recruit like-minded people. Like-minded kids. I mean, you're going to find kids that are all over the place. But if you sit down and you actually talk to them, they're all basically talking about. And when you find like-minded people and put them in a room together and give them a common cause to fight for, they will fight very hard. Because trust me, I played on a team with a bunch of them. And it took me to 4 straight Super Bowls because everybody on that team was a dog that wouldn't quit, that didn't care. If I get hurt, I'm going to drag myself to the sideline, tag the next guy, and let him go in the ring and win. And that's the way we played. We played for each other and for ourselves.
And plus, Wolf, let me tell you this. When we had official visits, we would tell the coaches, nah, not that kid. Or we love that kid. You know what I mean? Because we could see it. Because we knew, like he said, culture. You know, we knew this guy was going to fit. Oh, no, we know it. Because
he ain't going to work.
You ain't going to work. So I don't know if that's there. Like, I don't know how the event, like I said, we both been at W for a while, with Dana and those guys, but the guys they bring in, you can't just say, well, kids are different. The kids aren't different. Kids are kids, but the culture, what is our culture? Does this kid, I don't care if he's the best kid in California, but does he fit our culture? Because if he doesn't matter, he's going to be back in California anyways. And I think a lot of these coaches, they feel, well, I got these 4-star guys. I got this guys. Well, we don't care about that. This kid's an asshole. He's going to tear the locker room apart, or you're
going to want people that want to be there.
Exactly. But it was us though. It was the players. Going to the coaches. Like, I don't care who you recruit. This kid ain't going to work.
Hence, when there was given the opportunity to show people around, I told the coach, I said, look, don't give me anybody that you don't want to come here. Okay? I said, because I'm going to show them how we're going to do it and what we're going to do. Prime example is sitting right next to me. The other one is your brother. Yep. So, no. It's all about the person that you have put the kid with and how you've taught them how to show your program to other kids. If they can show your program, they'll shine a light on your program so bright that everybody will be blinded. Because they are the product. They are the lifeblood of it. So if they don't have a say in it, then what good is it? You got to give them a say. And that's basically what you do. That's basically what Nealon did. That's basically what all the coaches are trying to do. When you bring somebody in new to a system, you introduce them to 1 or 2 guys. Those 1 or 2 guys are going to introduce them to 2 or 3 more. That's just like a guy going out on a date for the first time. So the guy see him out on a date, he don't know what he didn't until he gets there.
Okay, so let me change the subject here, okay? Because I want to get to a little bit more here. And when I say to you that over the weekend, I heard a national pundit announcer say Morgantown can sometimes be a tough place to play. Can sometimes be a tough place. I want to hear some hot-blooded 350 pounds talking about someone that busted their can to make sure that Morgantown was a tough place to play, was a hostile environment. Any team that came in, especially on a Thursday night, it didn't matter. Josie, you once got on ESPN TV because you made a flip towards the crowd, and everybody thought you made a flip to the TV audience. And it was a moment, it was an iconic moment. But again, it was just the attitude of how tough it was to come out of Morgantown with a victory. If you're
Mountaineer Field
the opposing team.
What's that?
I said if you're the opposing team, tough to get out of Morgantown.
No,
you're not saying that anymore. You're not saying
you know what? The other part of that too is that the fans, at least for me, I can't speak for these guys, but I got to speak for me. All right, football players are entertainers. All right, we're going out to play a game, and people paid money to see us play a game and put on a show. And for me to get the ovation that I need, and I want, I'm not.
Okay, Joseph, you're breaking up, so I'm going to go to Timmy. Timmy, what do you think about playing in Morgantown? You went ahead and took down a Miami team. It was so famous. Saturday night. It was as set up as a day. Hang on, Joseph. Hang on, man. Okay, Timmy, go ahead, man.
Like Morgantown's a great place to play at, Wolf, and I get stories every day that guys going into Morgantown, the pit players going into Morgantown. When I played, it was nasty. It was get to win, and to this day, when I watch a game, I don't care who goes into Morgantown, that's around me. It's gonna be tough to win in Morgantown, and that's how we was brought up house, and expect you're gonna it's gonna be a cakewalk. You know what I mean? It's just this is great. There is football. You know what I mean? Football and basketball season. That's the whole ghost town down there. So it's like it's the college atmosphere. It's a great place to be. Great place to play at. Opposing teams come in there. They should be worried when they do come in to play in Morgantown.
What about you, Quincy? Are you back there, guys? I can't tell if you're back or not. Quincy, go ahead. Can hear you right there, yeah. Okay, I'll let you guys try to hook up Joe's. I'm going to go back here to Timmy here. And Timmy, let's go with this, man, and let's just talk about Iowa State today. Iowa State. Yeah. What do you see from them? They're 3-5. They got a really good, tough defense. They're 3-5. But what do they have to do to go into Ames? They're Iowa. It's a tough place to play. They got an offense that's struggling to know how to run. I'm talking about Iowa State. Decker's a young quarterback, but that defense is just nails, man. Only giving up 17 points per game.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game for us. It's going to go in there, to get a win out of there. Our defensive line needs a back. I mean, that's going to be the key. We put pressure on this guy, and then fly around. I think Steele's going to see the pit game. The first game, I thought it was going to be. I said our defensive front is probably the best in college football. That's where going into Ames and get a win. And like I said, if we just continue to just make good decisions, I think we'll be good. I think we'll be fine today.
Yeah, you know what? They're both 3-5. Again, Iowa State is 0-5 in the Big 12, but they've lost by 5 times by a combined of 28 points. And you got to really like when you break down their defense and you see them in that 3-3-5, they have a total shell. They don't want to give up the big play. But they have these linebackers, Timmy. Now, these guys, they're strong side linebackers, 240 pounds. Their middle linebackers, 260, and their weak side linebackers, 230. And they have three really tough defensive linemen that really try to gobble up those offensive linemen so that they don't get at those linebackers. And they are tough up the middle. But you know what, man? Is like, I think there's a weakness to the side of Iowa State. I think you have to work the perimeter. Screen game. I think you have to run some outside zone. You have to get really creative out there on the perimeter, because if you just try to go up the belly at them, but you have to do to keep them honest. But again, you have to work against that big heaviness, those 6 dudes that are 240 plus, including the defensive lineman in that box. Right. So you really have to go ahead and try to use your speed to get to the outside. Am I correct?
That's what we spoke about earlier, Wolf. Like it's like a 7 something. We got to spread them out. It's beat them with the speed, and like I said, we definitely got the receivers and the backs that can tough to try to pound them up the middle, like so the big dogs that get up front, and the linebackers. You know what I mean? Outflank, the linebackers. Mismatch receivers on stuff like that. So if we have a good game plan going into it, and I'm sure that Neil Brown has a game plan for today's game.
Timmy, flip it over to offense now. As you're a defensive guy, and you're seeing that Iowa State, they're only doing 97 yards a game in the rushing, really struggling, but they're going to keep trying because that's what Iowa State football is. But then you have Hunter Deckers. He's a sophomore, but now you got another dual threat quarterback. What are you looking at when you see that dual threat quarterback in this offense of Iowa State? Because they got Hutchinson now. We haven't even talked about it. I really wanted to get it with all the guys, but Hutchinson, he's got 77 receptions. He leads the nation, but he's not that deep ball guy. He's that guy that's going to catch your screen. Then he's going to go do a 10-yard out, and then he's going to hit you across the middle for 13 to 15. How are you going to defend this Hutchinson? Because if he goes to him, he's got 30 more receptions than the next guy, Stanley, and the next guy of Noel. So, I mean, he's got more than 30 receptions more than these other guys. He's the key. You have Charles Woods back. So now you got a guy that can help in the coverage with him. But you have to be aggressive, man, right? That's what Neil Brown was talking about. So tell me, what are you doing as a defense? And I put all this in there all at once. I know it's a lot. But how do you stop this Iowa State offense that's averaging 21 points a game?
We just gotta, everybody gotta flow to the ball. You know what I mean? And be honest with you, we gotta try and to try to just press these guys. You know what I mean? And make them. So if we stay aggressive, pressing the corners and have everybody flowing to the ball, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, no doubt. And when you go into someone else's house and Matt Campbell, I've been watching him since he was the head coach at Toledo. Outstanding coach. What they built there 5 or 6 years ago, and the guys that went through it. But now they're gone. But Iowa State, they are tough. Even when they had 2 wins, man, and it was freezing out in December. I remember traveling in there, and all the fans were going crazy. What do you have to do to be victorious when you go into a tough place to play on the road?
Well, like I said, Wolf, it seemed like Iowa State. I've never been down Morgantown. You know what I mean? It's like a college atmosphere. The crowd is going to be there. It's got to go in there and focus, knowing that we have to have a win. It's a must win for us going into there. Actually, today's this afternoon's game. And we just go in there focused. It's game early. I think we got a great shot to come out with a victory.
Yeah, no doubt, buddy. Well, listen, man, I know you got to get going, so I'm going to let you go. And I want to thank you. I thank the guys out there. They were cruising. That was absolutely
that was great.
So informational. But it was like one of the coolest things, having them all in the car. You had Stud, you had Q, DT and Big Joe's, man. And then yourself here up there in the Berg, man. So I appreciate you. And what's the score right now, that TCU game?
Look at that. 17-13 TCU. Texas. 3 minutes. Was third quarter still. 2 minutes to go in the game.
There's just one more point before I let you go. How tough is it? Because TCU is undefeated, and this is game what 9 for them, and you were undefeated in 1993. What is going on in their heads? And I'm glad I brought this up because I was coaching with you on the team at the time. I was on the other side of the ball, but what does TCU have to do if they even get out of today with Texas Tech? What do they have to do to maintain that win each and every game, and so they can go undefeated through the regular season?
As my group, as we played with my year '93, we took one game at a time. Took every practice that we had. We took it. We didn't take it for granted. We went there. We focused. Came together as a group. We hung out as a group. That was the good thing about our team. We hung out as a group. Going to go undefeated. Actually, we Mike Baker mentioned that in an interview in the summertime that we is, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to go undefeated this year. So if they have in their mind and say, I think they can. If they believe, they can make it happen. Like we believe, and we
Yep. All right. Well, listen, man, enjoy, and I'm going to let you go. We'll see you later, man. Thank you. Let's go Mountaineers, right? Let's have a victory.
Let's go Mountaineer. Wolf, anytime. Give me a call if you need me, man.
All right, brother. Love you, man. Take care now.
Love you.
Okay, so there you have it. There's Mountaineer Legends pregame for the Iowa State Cyclones. No air raid going on, but they do like that whistle going. It is tough there in Ames, Iowa. Tough. You got to stay in Des Moines and then travel in, bus in the morning, about an hour and 15-minute ride. I'm feeling good about today. The Iowa State, the offense is only scoring 21 points. They haven't totally figured out who they are. And the Mountaineers, hopefully, that they can really take what Neil Brown said in that second half, and with Charles Woods back there to hopefully compete with Hutchinson. Now, let's just put this out there and think about this. If Charles Woods, to go against Hutchinson, what a way is that to compete? Would you be up if you were out for most of the season like Charles Woods has been since the Pitt game? Played it a little bit last week with TCU, took some major reps, but now you're back and you have Xavier Hutchinson coming in. 77 receptions, man. Most targets in the country. Most catches in the country. This is a challenge for him. You have to be up. This is not a team I think that they're going to sit there and say, we're 3-5, we're going to fold over. I don't think so. But here's the key. Neither is Iowa State. That defense is only giving up about 360, 70 yards per game with the pass, 180 yards in the pass. They don't give you that big play. But I don't see teams, except where I showed the WolfMan's column breakdown. You got to attack the perimeter. If the Mountaineers can attack the perimeter, establish some running game, because it doesn't matter who the running backs have been. All of our running backs, Tony Mathis, TM, to Justin Johnson, to CJ Donaldson, to now Jalen Anderson, all of them have had an opportunity to run behind this offensive line. This is a much improved offensive line. And if they can do that and establish that, and they have to attack, why would you run up the middle against, seriously, 3 strong dudes on the defensive line, right? 3 dudes that fight. They're only giving up 115 yards rushing, 115. So why would you go and attack the middle with a strong linebacker at 240 pounds, a middle linebacker at 260, and a weak side linebacker at 231? If I see that we're going up the middle, besides just keeping them honest, because you can't have them, cheating to the outside, but the screen game's got to be big. BFW, right? Caden Prather, we don't even know how we're going to see what Garrett, what are they going to do with him? I want to see his coaching staff really get creative on offense, really do some creativity, because in Iowa State on the other side, they're going to be doing what? They're going to be throwing the ball. Yes, they're going to establish the run for themselves, try to. But again, they're only running the ball for 97 yards. They are not killing it. But Hunter Decker is a quarterback, a sophomore quarterback. Man, he's a good-looking kid, but he's not there. He can be hit. I've seen him on game film get hit and get inaccurate. He has 14 touchdowns, and he has 10 interceptions. The Mountaineers have to get their hands on the receivers. of Iowa State. They have to do that, reroute them. It's like when you see them in cover 4, it's quarter, right? And they're 8 to 10 yards off the ball. That's and Hutchinson, you're going to give him that room? You can't do it, man. You have to have more confidence. I know that's not what the coaches are doing. You got to get up there and do a reroute. If it's zone, all you got to do is jam that dude, man. And what DT is talking about, be physical. What Timmy Brown was talking about, be physical, man, and reroute them. Play with pride, right? Because, listen, I don't care if they're a superior athlete. You can hit somebody. Anyone can hit somebody and reroute them. Get them off that timing. There's a rhythm between the quarterback and the receiver. There's a pattern, and there's a timing to it. And that's what they do all day long. Pass, catch, right? Well, that's why you reroute. You understand? You get them off that rhythm, and hopefully that makes them more inaccurate because then it takes longer, and then you have a defense that hopefully is attacking. You heard Neil Brown say they want to attack more. They want to be more aggressive. You're 3-5. Why the heck not? Right? Why not? Go get it. Go, Mountaineers, and do it. Go lay it on the line. If I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down flaming, man. I'm going to be in a big flaming ball of fire because I'm going out with everything I got. And what you just saw with those legends that were in that car, and how great of a sport are they that the Wi-Fi goes down at the restaurant and they get in the car and they sit there. They want to talk to you, Mountaineer Nation. How cool is that? I mean, that's Darryl. Darryl Talley's number is retired at WVU. Darryl Talley is in a Hall of Fame collegiate. He's about ready, in my opinion. I believe he will be soon to be in the NFL Hall of Fame. He's sitting in the car talking to Mountaineer Nation because he cares about Mountaineer Nation, but he cares about this program. And we're all here as guys that are former players, and we care. Yeah, Q-Dog, Quincy Wilson, one of the most famous screenplays. Actually, it was a screen pass. That wasn't even a run, but it was a screen pass when he laid out Merriweather almost 20 years ago. Or a big stud, man, right? Studstill down there. And the 93 season, him and Couch, Jake the Snake, going 11-0. And then you got Big Joe's we had, man, taking up all the room in the vehicle. And he cares because that's the All-American first-round draft pick for the Kansas City Chiefs. And of course, we got Timmy Brown up there in the Berg, man, and playing chill, cool, and watching the TCU game. We love them. But that's what you have here. That's what we want to see from this team. Character, like those dudes, man. Character and fight. Just because the Wi-Fi goes out down in South Florida where it's hot out, okay, hot, and then they get the air conditioning going and they get in that car. That's a prime example of what I'm talking about. That's what we want to see out of this team right now. That's what we want to see out of this team, this Mountaineer team. It's called Mountaineer football. Neil Brown talked about a standard, and he's right. There needs to be a standard. And right now, that standard has not been met on the defensive side. And today is a great day to start that standard. You want to go to the second half? They held them. TCU. All right, coach, I'll give you that. I will. They played hard. I was as hard as anybody on them in the first half. Lord knows I should have been. Go out there. If you're not going to play, then don't go play. But don't get on that field if you're not going to play. If you're not going to go out there 100% and wear that WV on your helmet, then don't go out there. They did in the second half. And I was proud of them. I'm proud because to get your can kicked like that in the first half against the top 10 offense, it would have been easy to pack it in. Easy. Said, it's not our day. Or maybe even the week before, Texas Tech. Some of them, I think, packed in a little bit there. But TCU, they could have said, no, it's not that. Well, let's see you go on the road and do that. Let's see right now, this offensive line, Zach Frazier. Right? I want to see you, man. I want to see you lead that offensive line. I want to see you get mad and say, I'm blocking her. I'm taking my guy out. And I expect you to do it, and you, and you, and you. And, JT Daniels, yeah, This is my team too. I'm expecting to see you do that. That's what I'm talking about. On defense, Dante Stills, man. You know how much I love Dante. You know I've been watching him for all these years. I watched him back in high school, him and Darius. Love their dad, Gary. Great Mountaineers. Great Mountaineers. That's their teams. That's who Mountaineers are. And Dante, go get up there, man, and do your thing. That poor guy, he's been getting double team, triple team, just like McDonald for Iowa State, who's got 32 and a half sacks in his career at Iowa State. But, man, he's only got 3.5 this year. You know why? Because they're all doing what? They're double teaming him. They're running away from him. So other guys have to step up. And that means that Taj Alston, Sean Martin, and JJ, George Jefferson, I love what he's been doing. He's a man. That's a man's man. That boy could go ahead and play back in the day for total physicality. Jordan Jefferson, I think he's a dude, man, a stud. Physical. That's what we're talking about. Let's see you get physical. Charles Woods, I keep going back to it. You had the best opportunity. You missed most of the season your senior year. Disappointing, right? Well, now you got the number one receiver in receptions and targets. That should be targets and receptions. Regardless, you have the number one. This is your opportunity to showcase, to show out for your future. And I wish you the best and good luck along with the rest of the team. But as he's fighting with that, the rest of the team better see that and raise up to that level, raise up to that standard. What is the standard, Coach Brown? Well, I'm sure he told him. Because the standard last week was not it. But this week is different because this is your new, fresh opportunity. You're coming off. You gain some confidence. Now let it fly. Go out, a big ball of flame, but go out going hard, fast, physical. Doesn't matter if you make a mistake. Do it fast. Hit somebody. If you hit the wrong guy, who cares? We'll get you lined up. We'll fix it as long as you're going out hitting somebody as hard as you possibly can. And that's what you saw in this last hour. Hour and 5 minutes. Just want to say this, and I'm going to let it go. The Mountaineers can come out of Ames with a victory today. No matter how tough it is, it doesn't matter. Because if you get off to a fast start, you got to have turnovers. You got to win the turnover game. Since 2002, they're 96-14 when winning the turnover battle. 96-14. That stat's real. That stat is the truth. That stat will win you a football game. They have to do it. They have to go out in field position in special teams. Special teams have been playing great for the most part. Kickoff return, get it going. Let's get some yards. Let's set up better field position when they kick the ball off. They're only scoring 21 points a game, so defense, let's shut them down. Nowhere near what you've been giving up so far. Because you're playing aggressive, because you're getting after the quarterback. But you better corral that quarterback. Better corral him. Special teams, get a block. You've already had a couple blocks. You're capable. And like I said before, I believe when special teams are still playing hard, that means the whole team is playing hard. And they still believe. They're still fighting for themselves, each other, and their coaching staff, their university, Mountaineer Nation, so on. All right. Well, my friends, I hope you enjoyed today. We got in the car, or they got in the car, just to give you their thoughts. And there were some incredible thoughts. I think that might be one of the coolest shows I've ever done with Darryl Talley, Brian Joswiak, Quincy Wilson, Darren Studstill, down there in Miami, making it happen for Mountaineer Nation, man. Making it, I don't care. You know what? That's just freaking awesome. Awesome that those dudes would do that because they care that much about this football program, about Mountaineer Nation. Yeah. All right, my friends. So that's Mountaineer Legends pregame for you. A little crazy today, a little late. Apologize. Things happened, and we had no control. And, of course, we want to thank Parmar Stores, our great friends at Parmar. Oh, I love it, man. Hey, there's not a Parmar store near you now. there will be one soon. God bless you, man. Take care. And I'm going to do this. We're going to go out with a Parmar video with Casey Legg, who I think is still pretty sure 100% ready to roll. We'll see you later. Let's go, Mountaineers. Hail, West Virginia.
Hi, I'm Casey Legg, and I'm from Charleston, West Virginia. And when I'm back home in Charleston, you will find me at my local Parmar store.
We had that golden boot pride at Parmar. There are literally hundreds of Parmar stores in West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, and even more on the way. Download the Parmar app to save even more. And whether it's food, gas, groceries, or whatever, we have you covered at Parmar. West Virginia proud and ready to serve you.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
Where do the true gold and blue faithful go for the best in beer, burgers, pizza, wings, and more? It's the Mountaineer Tap House on the Evansdale campus. Mountaineer Tap House features well over 40 craft beers on tap, plus the best appetizers, salads, burgers, wings, pizza, and tacos the University City has to offer. Enjoy their exclusive craft cocktails too. Dine on the balcony or chill out inside with walls and walls of TVs. Follow Mountaineer Tap House on social media. Mountaineer Tap House, second floor above the Parmar store on the Evansdale campus.